everybody. Welcome to My Worst Date. I'm Cassie.
I'm Keegan.
I'm Christina.
I was just saying before we started recording that it's so like reminiscent of like early days when we used to actually like go out.
Yeah.
Oh,
because we'll talk about this more in the next episode, but we did go out last night. Like that's why my voice sounds like this.
Yeah.
And the way I got up, like, I don't know, maybe half an hour before Christina picked me up to take me over to Cassie's. And then I went to get dressed and I like looked at real pants.
No.
And I was like, no, it's not
Absolutely
happening.
not.
I'm literally in like sweats and a sweater. And
You look like
the
me
chair.
today.
You're
giving Cassie vibes.
I was like, no contacts. I'm wearing my glasses,
Yeah.
no makeup, and I'm sitting on this chair, just like spread
Full man
eagled.
You really are.
It's a vibe in here today.
Listen,
Like,
if
the energy,
if we had beanbag chairs,
Oh, hell yeah.
this would be
lazy boy chairs.
Oh
Can you
fuck!
imagine?
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I
All
can't.
three
We'd
of
be
us?
asleep. That was all you'd hear the next hour.
In my sleep hum.
Girl, okay, so Christina came over and she stayed at the house, like, so she lives further out of town now, so it was just easier for multiple days for her to be in town. So I was like, just stay with me. Put Chris on the couch, right? She slept in the bed and she just told us about the infamous sleep hum. And we've definitely slept in the same room before, but
Right.
this time I was like, we had the TV on. I had to go to sleep, and I was like, oh, I'm starting to fade. I was like, do you mind if I go ahead and I was like, well, there it is. I guess I can turn the TV off.
Yes.
She is sleeping.
Sleep humming.
So
yeah,
funny.
it doesn't happen every night, but it is definitely like it's a regular occurrence.
Yeah.
But
I
so,
will
yeah.
say it's not disturbing at all. I was able to go right to sleep. It was not like something that kept me awake.
Amazing. Just a slight hum. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
It was like-
That's nice.
Yeah.
I've never like known anybody who does that, but that's
No.
actually very pleasant. Like when you think about the way that like people snore,
Oh.
that's so much worse. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, I snore too sometimes. It just depends. But
She's like, bitch, I do it all.
sleep hum nights are really nice. And I actually was reading up on it sometime because it hasn't really been studied. They think it might be a form of sleep apnea.
Oh, dear.
Oh, Jesus.
It's the
It's
cutest
like,
form.
We're like, oh, it's so sweet.
Yeah, it's so precious.
Except it could kill you.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I don't know that much about it. So listeners, if you are a sleep hummer too, because it's like reverse. It's like instead of like breathe in, it's more
it's
of
like
the on the way
Yeah.
out.
Dude, what that is the most concerning thing. Have you ever experienced that when like a partner is sleeping, like they're snoring,
and then they stop
and then
breathing.
they stop
Yes.
breathing?
Yes.
And you're like, you like sit up in bed. You're like, do I need to slap you across the bed? Do I need to wake you? Are you okay?
You put your finger under their nose
like-
and they're like, and they're like,
Then they start
Then they're
breathing again, and you're like, oh my God, thank God.
Yeah.
yeah, that has
It's
happened.
terrifying.
Yeah.
It's so scary.
I definitely want to get into this because
Okay.
I've been thinking about this since you texted it to us earlier this week. So Cassie put
You're
in
like, I
our
have thoughts.
group chat this. I don't know if it's an Insta reel or what,
I think it's
but
a TikTok.
a TikTok basically saying like, would you rather have somebody last 30 seconds with you or go an hour?
Right. Talking to like
Yeah.
a woman in a
Right.
like het relationship.
Correct.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
Yeah.
I have thoughts.
Yes. Okay.
I do too.
And honestly, I'm going to say it depends.
I think it depends.
That's
I-
exactly
yeah.
what I landed on
That's
Like,
too.
there's not like a singular place that I land, and only because it really depends. How in the mood am I?
yeah.
Yes.
Where am I at?
Yeah.
Right.
Am I really into it? Because
Right.
I can go fast.
Because if you're really
I'll race
into
you
it,
to
an
the
hour
end.
is fine.
Yeah.
If like you're really into, and it's not just like,
Oh, I was like,
are
that's
you
way
talking
too long.
about an hour of like just straight pumping,
Oh.
or an hour of the whole
no,
thing?
I think it's the hour, the whole thing.
An
Yeah,
hour,
an hour
the
of
whole
just
thing
plain
is-
pumping
it's
is
too
Oh,
much.
see,
Way
that's
too
what I
much.
thought.
that's no,
Way,
no,
way
no,
too
no, no,
much.
no.
Oh, see, I
So
was
it's an-
thinking like the actual sex act, 30 minutes, actual sex act, an hour.
Well, not even 30 minutes. It's 30 seconds.
Seconds.
Yeah.
Seconds.
No.
So
it, like, so obviously,
an hour is way too long.
Not for the whole thing.
not for the whole thing.
If
For
you're
like
really into
foreplay
it.
and
Yeah.
everything
If you're
like
really
that.
Okay.
Yeah,
If we're including everything, you're right.
Yeah.
But if it's just the sex act,
that's a long.
If it's just
time.
That's
pumping,
too
I'm
fucking
chafing.
long.
Like, that's too long.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
It
Yeah.
is.
But I've definitely have both.
that's why
situations.
I think we have to think about it then as pumping, because
30 seconds is very short for just pumping.
But an hour is too
very
long.
long.
Both
Yeah.
of them kind of suck, which is why it's a would you rather,
Yeah,
right?
okay.
Oh, well, if it's like that, then absolutely 30 seconds. An hour of just pumping? Absolutely not.
But I think we also need to talk about, so they interviewed someone. She said 30 seconds and she was like, but her reasoning was,
Right.
I think that's the biggest compliment.
I definitely, I understand that. I felt that in my soul because I'm like, yeah, dude, if you can, I have actually had that exact thought before. I'm like, oh man, I turned him on so much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm
There
like,
is a
fuck
little bit of
yeah.
a compliment in it.
I don't know.
I
I
think-
think maybe I'm more cynical because I'm just like, it's
Keep-
a guy. Like, you know, I'm just like, I don't know
it's not
that
hard.
it's me. You know what I mean? I just think that
You had a stiff breeze. I mean,
Yeah.
how old are they?
Yeah,
Let's
and,
see. I
like-
mean, like, are they like? Are
and
we
how
talking
horny?
a guy? Are we talking about a guy in his 40s? Or are we talking
Yeah.
about a guy in his 20s?
like, how
You
horny
know?
is this person too? I'm
Right.
just like, are
Yeah.
you just like, you just really need to get off? So you're
Yeah.
just like in and then
And
it's like,
out.
it's happening.
Literally,
You know, because I'm just like, that doesn't feel like a compliment to me
that's true.
necessarily.
And here's the thing. I can come really fast, but like 30 seconds.
I'm not. No, we're gonna have to do some stuff
We're gonna have to do,
afterwards.
yeah,
You're gonna
more.
need to
I'm-
complete this.
I'm gonna say as long, and again, if we're only talking pumping and we're not talking foreplay,
Mm-hmm.
I'll race you to the end. Do I
Mhm.
Can
think
you come in 30 seconds?
I think I could.
Wow.
I know,
could-
and
I
I'm not
could with
saying
a
this is
vibrator.
normal.
I could with a vibrator.
I have a really strong imagination, and I think that's what it stems from. Because I can really, if I get my head in the right,
Less than a minute.
Yes.
A TikTok 30 seconds.
Yes,
God,
I
that
can.
is
I
fast.
can.
It's fast.
You're right.
Not
Maybe
for
not 30.
not for PIV, but I know I have a few vibrators that I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
I got to get to sleep. 30 seconds, done.
Okay, wait.
Yeah.
Have you
It's
ever done
right
that?
on the button?
You got the and then
Zip zap zop.
Yeah.
You're done.
same. I'm exactly that way. What I will say though, have you ever like I just need to do this and so I can go to sleep?
Yes.
And then you're like up for another hour because actually sex does not make me fall asleep. It makes me like wired awake.
It's both things because usually I'm like I can't believe I'm going to tell this story. So I was at my parents' house during all of this stuff that was happening with my dad, and I was really, really sad. I don't know if this happens to you guys. So I'm sleeping in a bunk bed in a children's room.
Oh,
Like no children are present, but
God.
I'm on the bottom bunk with Eric sharing like a full size bed. I can't sleep. I'm stressed out, and I'm like, I just have to rub one out in order to get to sleep. I'm just so stressed and so sad right now. And so I'm like,
masturbation.
it's like,
Such a bummer.
Yeah, so I don't even know what to say. Like I don't think
so
I've
I'm like
To crying.
literally like sadly like rubbing one out, and like Eric, bless his heart, didn't say anything. It was maybe like months later.
laying awake in bed, staring at the top bunk. Just,
He's like shaking a little bit because he definitely felt it, and he was just like, I think she just needs to,
Do whatever
take
she's
care
just
of
something she needs
I'm
right
just
now.
not going to say anything. So he just laid there while I just sadly masturbated.
I have to say, I don't know that I've ever like masturbated to fall asleep. I
Oh,
don't
it's
think I've
great
ever been, like,
sometimes.
I-
Yeah.
sometimes, but
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like and it's usually like when when I would travel, I'm like, oh man, I'm just like wired. I need to go to sleep. I'm like, I'll
But you're,
rub one
you're
out.
playing with fire.
You are.
Because sometimes
Yeah.
it will knock you out. You'll get great sleep.
Yeah.
You'll be asleep. But sometimes you'll like rub the button the wrong way, and you're like, well, now I'm up.
fully
You know what?
awake.
I
Fully
have to say,
awake.
I'm
Yeah.
very grateful that this is the episode that Thomas is not editing. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Poor Thomas, just in
in general,
general.
like we've been friends a long time. I feel like he knows.
We gotta
a lot
set up a
about
fund.
me. for his therapy.
Honestly. BetterHelp.com/help Thomas.
he's like
Compartmentalized.
he's like the payment isn't enough. I'm also going to need hazard insurance.
He's contacting OSHA.
Oh no!
Honestly, yeah.
He's like I need a raise.
Yeah, he's on vacation this week, so Christina's editing this one. So I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, thank God.
No, but I mean, like, so 30 seconds is doable.
It's
definitely.
doable, right?
But like
An
and-
hour is too long.
Worst.
That's too fucking long.
For just
For
straight.
just the penetration, just
Yeah.
the in and out.
Yeah.
The in and out.
But
yeah.
definitely, I'm down for an hour of activities.
An hour of
activities,
I
that's
could do.
different.
Yes.
That's different.
Yes,
That's not
agreed.
even a would you rather. That's
Yeah.
like obvious.
Obviously. Yeah, because you're not getting in activities in 30 seconds.
No.
Like, you're not getting...
No.
You aren't getting anything.
No,
like they're getting off.
That's true.
Here's what I'll say about that too. There's some times where you're just like, oh, man,
Agree.
I'm just not really in the mood, but I'm willing to be a participant
a team player.
in this, knowing that like sometimes it might go the other way.
I am too, because like I've definitely heard that before, where there are some women who are just like, we're not done till like I'm done. You know what I mean?
I've had times where I'm like, how fucking dare you?
Yes.
Get busy.
But there are times where I'm just like, I'm fine with this, but I'm also like, I kind of just want to go to bed. So if you could just wrap it up, fine. You know what I mean?
It's like the Oscar music starts playing.
Yeah. You're just like,
wrap.
I'm happy to help you out, but
absolutely.
I would like to go to sleep now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's true.
Oh my gosh. Absolutely. Yeah, no, I think it's a worthwhile discussion. I think there's times for both.
Now, here's what I'll say about that too. I think that for women, women in a hetero relationship too, this is speaking strictly to this, but like, I think that there's times when we'll be like, yeah, I'm not really into it. And of course with a partner, like we're just like, sure. I mean, it's not that big a deal, whatever. Yeah. Like I might come. There's still an option. I could.
Right.
But if I don't, I'm not like, oh,
yes.
fuck you.
Yeah. Agree.
But I think obviously with guys, it's different, right? Like they don't, like if they, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
Like I guess I don't know. Like
what do you mean? Like if they don't come, they get like frustrated or whatever, and they're just like, "What is it even worth it?"
I don't know. I mean, not that like I don't. I mean, it rarely ever happens when he doesn't complete. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know. Like, is there like a
is there a double standard?
Right. Is there like a double standard here? Like,
would
a guy just be like, oh, well, just.
I'm just doing this to help you out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'll just lay here and look at the top bunk. Lay here quietly.
Well, maybe. Okay, there it is.
Oh my God.
No, I think it does go both ways.
Yeah.
I think it's the same for gentlemen as well as the ladies.
They may not just be in the mood, but they'll get involved.
Exactly. Yeah, because it just might not happen. And especially now getting older and getting in your 40s and stuff like that, it sometimes will take a little longer, and dishes got to get done, dogs got to get walked and stuff, and so it might. We
put a Girl Scout effort into this. Let's call it for today, and we'll come back later.
We'll come back. Put a pin in this.
Yeah. I'm coming back for you, baby.
That sounds like the most Capricorn thing I've ever heard. You're like, we have a to-do list.
We do. So we have to go to Costco.
I've budgeted 45 minutes for this. If you can't get it done in that time, we're going to have to come back to this later.
Exactly.
And that I may be jumping a little early into the next episode, but I'm that way about like my ADD won't allow me to start something if I can't complete it.
Oh,
I'm completist in certain things.
So you just won't start the sex?
I just won't. If I know, I'm like, sometimes like, especially if I have like something on, like a timed schedule thing, like on my calendar, like, oh, at noon, I have to I mean, if it's a 9 a.m., great. But you don't start sex with me at 11.
Right.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Because you're thinking about the noon.
I can't.
Yeah.
It's like there's like a mental block.
I understand that.
I have to know that I can complete the task entirely before I can move on to it.
For me, it's not about completing the task entirely. It's like if there's a task, it sits in my head.
Yeah.
If I'm like,
there's no putting pens in anything.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah. For me, I'm just like, but we have to do chores.
If I want, and that's the thing too, it's like if I put a quote pen in it, if I come back to it, I'll start something new. Like, for example, Tainted Love or something like that, right? Like if I start something, if I have to leave it and come back, I've lost interest in it. I think it's a very Aries trait to lose interest in something and not complete something.
Definitely sounds like my ex. 100%.
I can't. I have to complete it. If I don't complete it within the time I'm excited about it, she done.
I prefer to do it that way. Like if I sit down to write a book report or work on my Tainted Love or whatever,
homework,
I
anything.
prefer to give myself enough time to be able to start to finish, like finish this thing. I don't have to. I can come back to it later if I need to. I don't prefer to do it that way because I'm like, I'm on a roll. I've got like, especially because I type out all of my Tainted Love. So I'm like, I'm writing in a particular voice right now.
That's right.
Right. And I don't know if this voice is coming back if I have to do this in 2 days. That's right. Know? So I do prefer to just get it done start to finish. But unlike you, Cassie, I can like stop in the middle and come back if I had to. Like if
I'm
something
sweating
came up,
just thinking about it.
Oh,
literally, I'm sweat is coming out of my.
I am constant. I'm like constantly have like a couple things going at the same time, and I can like do it in pieces and stuff. I can break stuff out.
If
so
it's
I just
small tasks, yes. But if it's a project, like it's something that needs like report, like you said, like
I
a
just
book
like knowing that
or
it's
like
done. Like when I started, I'm just like, I want this off of my plate. Like I want it off of my to-do list.
Yeah.
So I'm like, just one and done, sit down, bang it out.
A really good example of this is that like sometimes like with I have classes like with discussions involved where like if there's a discussion, you have to like write your portion and then you have to reply to other people. I usually can't be the first one. There has to be discussions already up so that I can reply to them so I can get all of that completed and checked off, because there's been numerous times where I've gone in and I'm like, oh, I'll come back to do my replies that I forget.
Yeah.
Because I'm somebody who's used to just completing task, checking it off, moving on.
I understand that. Like
it's
mentally
gone.
you're like, I've done it.
It's
I did
done.
The thing.
She gone. Yeah.
Interesting.
Anyway.
interesting ways that the brains work. What are we gonna fuck, marry, kill this week?
Oh, Lord have mercy.
What are we going to do? It is into January. We got the Jeremy Allen White Calvin Klein ad.
Oh God.
What? Oh yeah.
He is another guy
The bear?
who I'm like, I'm like, shouldn't be hot. There is something about his face where I'm just like, you look like Gene Wilder.
If he did, I would like him better.
There is something about his face that I'm just like, you shouldn't be hot, but you are hot. You're hot.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I don't get it. It's not for me.
No.
Should we do another round of shouldn't be hotters?
Right.
Sure.
Like kind of hot takes.
Yeah.
Like my hot take is I don't think he's hot, and I think everybody else does.
Yeah.
He's I mean, when I saw that ad, I got to be honest, like for me, I'm like, incredible that he's in that kind of shape or whatever, but it's not my cup of tea.
Yeah. Speaking of hot takes, though, Keegan also sent something to us that was a hot take, and they're calling your man the
Bill Hader. Because Bill Hader and Ali Wong kissed, and when she won her Golden Globe, she gave him a kiss.
Yeah.
And apparently the internet did not know that Bill Hader and Ali Wong were dating, and they've been dating for a long time.
Yes, I know.
So sorry.
She's like, I know.
But someone said that Bill Hader is the Pete Davidson of elder millennials.
Ooh, shots fucking fired.
I know.
I don't get it. I don't think that at all.
I don't get it either, really. I mean, look.
Not even a little bit.
I will say this. We did have someone, because we've talked about Bill Hader many times on the show, and we did have someone write us, and they were like, I'm so sorry, Christina, but Bill Hader is the goofiest looking motherfucker.
Right.
I do think that there is but he is attractive to me.
Right.
Even though there is, when you just look at him.
Yeah, exactly.
But especially now, too, like he's kind of growing even more into himself. Like I find him hotter now. Like that picture with him and Ali Wong, he looks so
See,
lucky.
I don't think he looks good in that picture.
See,
I don't.
no, we're full of hot takes.
I'll have to pull it
Let
up.
me show it to you, because I did send it to the group, so I will show it to you. But I feel like, and same with Pete Davidson. Like I'm like, when you just look at Pete Davidson, I'm like, he's got charisma. Like they have charisma, I think is really what it is.
Personality, you know?
I still don't get the Pete Davidson thing.
I do, sadly.
Yeah,
I get it less now.
Yeah.
Like now I feel like he's been overhyped to the point where I'm just like, you know, like I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not as interested at this point. But here's the picture of him.
Oh, I think he looks great.
I think he looks so good now.
I think he's
yeah,
look better.
I love it with facial.
That salt and pepper
And that
beard.
facial hair? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they look happy.
Steve Carell, you know, now when he has the beard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So hot take.
So listen, I think this is going to be more like celebrities we think are hot, but a lot of people disagree.
Correct.
Yes?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we should also note that on that list was like people like Michael Fassbender,
There
which
were
I got to be honest,
objectively
who
hot people.
does not think he's hot.
I need you to identify yourself.
Honestly,
Yes.
come forward.
Yes.
Speak
Agreed.
now or forever hold your peace. I have who does not think
Yeah, if we
Fassbender
have
is hot.
list, and we're talking about like physically hot. Like,
Yeah.
so if we have a listener who's like, they look at Michael Fassbender and they're like, nope, don't think he's hot
Mid.
at all. Mid. Yes,
Oh my God.
exactly. But you know
I
what?
need to
Actually,
know.
who could be on this list? Who I don't think is mid at all. I think is good looking, but has a unique face. Is Ryan Gosling. I think Ryan Gosling has a unique face. I rewatched.
People like
Barbie,
him though. You're right.
but he's hot.
But you're right though. I
Yeah.
think in any other context, would you look at him twice? Yeah, you probably would.
I would.
'Cause I think that he's.
I do think
you're
he's
right.
attractive, but there is something about
I
him.
have seen him in real life because he had a dog that he used to take to a dog park, and he objectively that's what I was saying with that whole thing about the Barbie thing. It was like mid. I'm like, when you see these
No.
people in real life,
No.
that they're
Beyond.
they are way more attractive than the average person.
Yeah.
They just are.
Yeah.
And he is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I actually am not somebody that's like, I'm not a huge The Notebook fan or a huge like Gosling
Never
head.
watched it.
I never.
I'm gonna make you one of these days for Tainted
I've
Love.
never
Just
watched.
Get ready
It's
for that.
Very interesting.
Lot to
Tainted
discuss.
Love. A lot. Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, objectively, I'm like, yeah, I mean, he's all right looking on screen, but he looks exactly the same in real life.
Yeah.
So that to me, I'm like, you're attractive.
You're unique.
I can recognize that you are an attractive
Yes.
person.
Yes. Okay. So on that list that we were looking at,
Mm-hmm.
and there's an entire fucking Office episode that you reminded me of, Christina, about this. And I remember even when I was watching The Office and that came up, I was
Can you imagine
astounded.
if
A whole episode of a very
episode
popular
of a
show.
popular sitcom is dedicated to determining whether or not you're hot?
And that is Hilary Swank. I will tell you something.
I think she's so hot.
I think she's so hot. I admittedly, and we talked about this in the last episode, I like an ambiguous face.
Me too.
Yeah.
Like, I like men who have some feminine features,
Same.
women who have some maybe traditionally more masculine features.
Right.
Yeah.
I think she's
So
sexy.
so
like,
good looking.
I think
Absolutely.
she's good looking.
She's a phenomenal actress.
She's a phenomenal actress. Something about her face, I think, like photographs and films really well.
Right.
Like, her body is fucking
Banging.
banging
Always,
because she's
yeah.
in like incredible shape.
Yep.
I think she's hot.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I know. I'm
on board with you.
Complete
Okay.
agreement.
Yeah.
I am going to put up Tim Roth,
I love
who is at the beginning of Pulp Fiction.
Uh-huh.
He's in a lot of stuff. Rob
Yeah.
Roy.
He had a show, Lie to Me, for a little
yep.
bit.
He's had a long career.
He
very
has
long.
had a long career.
Storied.
Weathered.
Usual, or what was it? The Reservoir Dogs.
Reservoir Dogs.
Oh my
Dogs.
God, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that had another of our hot takes, right? Mr. Pink. Why do I always gotta be Mr. Pink?
Yeah.
Steve Buscemi.
Steve Buscemi, yeah. In
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm gonna put him up.
I
I
think
think
he's
he's
hot, too.
so
I do.
hot.
There's
Yeah.
something about,
I agree.
and again, just looking at him, fine, he's fine, but like there is something about the way he moves or talks, and
He has
like,
riz.
He's got
slinky.
yeah,
He's like got a real.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I think he would be really like
A real
I feel like he
swagger.
would suck you in. Like if you were at the bar with him and he started talking to you, I feel like he'd be one of those people that like
You couldn't stop
sucks you
talking
in.
to him, right?
Yeah.
Like he feels like he's very interesting.
He'd look at you in your eyes.
And I like people that move with purpose and confidence.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
He seems
People that
very
aren't
confident.
awkward in movement, but
He's
are very fluid and
Confident,
like
yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Confidence.
He has confident
is
energy.
big.
Yeah.
That's big.
Yes.
Mhm.
I am going. Mine's I think going to be the hottest take. Of
I
all.
think so.
Benicio del Toro.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
cannot help myself.
That
I think
one I
he's
understand because like I
the
I
unique-
look at his face
Yeah.
and I'm like, he is one of those who I look at his face and I'm like, you shouldn't be hot, but you
You got
have
stories
a
to tell.
quality. He does have a quality about him. I can't tell if I think he's
I think he's
attractive or
sexy.
not.
There's something about him that's mysterious. That's like there's a mystery,
Mhm.
and
Looks a little dirty.
I love a mystery.
Yeah, he looks like he could
Which-
use a shower.
The last thing that he's really been in that I've seen is it the Avengers thing? Is he the Collector?
Yes, he is that. He
Mm.
did something else. He
Mhm.
was in something else. I
Was
can't
it-
remember. So
yeah.
why even bring it up? Keegan?
I sometimes get him mixed up with Javier Bardem.
Yes, who I also like, and
Oh,
I don't
Javier
think
Bardem is-
I don't think that's a hot take at all.
I think
No, that's
Javier
not a hot-
Bardem is objectively more attractive.
Absolutely.
I think like just
Absolutely.
just going on physical appearance alone.
For sure.
But you know what? Who I get like also Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yes.
All these people are like different versions of each other.
There was a popular post that was going around this week that had and I'll have to pull it up, and it's like all the different celebs that look alike. They're
Yeah.
like when Hollywood
Yeah.
likes a certain thing, they just reprint.
Yes.
Really
Yeah.
get into
they
it.
hit
Yeah.
copy paste
Yeah,
on that.
exactly.
Yeah,
Control V.
But I think Jeffrey Dean Morgan is like
Oh, he is.
Sicario. That's the thing I think.
Sicario is what I'm
Yeah.
thinking of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Benicio.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I think Benicio del Toro's a really good actor.
Mm-hmm.
I just.
I
there's
think he has
sexy.
a quality. He has a sexy quality about him that I can't put my finger on.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about, Cass.
I don't know. There's something about him where you're like, is he reading my soul right now? Like, is he?
Mm-hmm.
Does he see deeper? Does he see who I really am? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like sometimes people look at you and you're like, I need to unpack whatever this is.
Mm-hmm.
This is a hard one.
But I will tell you, for me, I know what I'm going to do with
Okay.
Benicio, and I'm going to put him in bed.
yeah, you're gonna fuck him.
I'm going to
Right.
fuck Benicio.
But I'm a little scared because I thought about
Oh,
that. I was like, I
yeah.
think maybe I'm gonna fuck
am
Benicio
I?
del Toro, but I'm
I also
I'm a little terrified. He's like one of those people who I would be like,
He's gonna
I'm
fuck you up in
scared.
bed.
I'm scared,
but in the best way. I think.
like to go into this encounter. You know what I mean? Because Tim Roth has a darkness to him, but
I'm
I'm
gonna
not
marry him.
terrified.
No.
Like,
But
you know what I mean?
Benicio, I'm unsettled.
I'm
Like if he
Yeah.
were,
I like it.
if he were to just be like, I'll be right back or whatever, I'll be like, what is
If
he
you
getting?
told
What
me
is gonna happen?
that one of these people killed someone, I'd be like, it's Benicio del Toro.
Obviously, it is.
Right?
Yes,
Clear.
100.
But no, you know the fact of the matter, it actually would have been
Tim Roth.
Tim Roth. So unassuming. He's mysterious, but not in the same way. I'm gonna marry
Tim
him,
Roth.
Tim Roth, and then I'm gonna friend Hilary Swank, and
Yeah.
I objectively very good looking, and in any other scenario probably would have fucked her, except that I gotta know about Benicio.
Yeah, I understand.
It's-
that like that curiosity might get you killed, but
hey,
you know,
call me a cat.
gotta know. I am gonna marry Hilary Swank.
Yeah.
I think that she has a real like grounded energy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if she's an earth sign, but she's got very earth sign energy. She's got like she's very like.
Oh, did you just look it up?
you looked him up?
Oh,
Okay.
Do you know the
okay.
answers?
Oh shit!
Oh,
And I already
no.
made calls.
Yeah, you
I'm
did.
Scared.
Oh,
I'm
God,
scared.
I'm-
Like
No, go
Wait,
ahead.
is Benicio a fucking Aries?
No, go ahead. No, keep going.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
Oh my God.
Now she's withholding.
the way I'm like sweating. Like
And
she's like, no, make
No.
you make your stupid
ahead.
fucking choices.
do it. Bury yourselves. God damn. She's a tough one this one.
Okay. I am gonna marry Hilary Swank. Like I feel like we
That's funny. I think of her as an air sign.
really
Yeah.
mean, maybe.
She's got like Aquarius energy for me.
interesting.
Yeah.
She's too put together. Like I feel like she shops like, you know, like she's not loosey goosey in the way that I think of
I
Aquarius.
think Aquarius are good at hiding those types of things. Like they appear put together, but inside they're like,
I don't like this look on Christina's face
I know,
because
girl, what
she
is
knows.
happening? She's probably fucking Aries.
A Leo.
Oh, wow. Yep.
Yeah.
We are. There you go.
Unexpected.
Unexpected.
I get it though.
I wasn't getting that from her.
But good luck.
But you know,
have fun.
Yeah. Make your choices.
I
Yeah.
am.
Yes.
I'm,
I don't
I'm
know if that's
stick
good
with
for
it.
you,
I'm gonna
but-
stick with it. I have a lot of experience with Leos. My mom's Leo. My brother's Leo.
Okay.
Yeah.
My grandpa's a Leo.
You can navigate.
I think
It's-
I can navigate
It's
it.
going to take a lot of energy.
Um,
You're going to need some like good energy bars.
but you know what? I feel like she'll get me to work. She'll get me in the gym.
Yeah.
We'll work out that energy. Okay.
Yeah.
The two of us are gonna have the best biceps you've ever fucking seen.
Oh,
she has the
amen.
best arms.
Yes.
I've ever seen. And $1 Million Baby, her back.
Girl,
Oh my
please.
God.
I want to work out with Hilary Swank.
Oh,
Okay.
that would actually be fun. I
Yeah.
actually want to do that
Yes.
too.
See, that's why I'm
Like,
choosing her as
fuck,
my friend.
marry, workout.
Yeah, you can
FMW.
You can come over to our home
Yes.
gym.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck
Okay.
yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, and you know I love sharing a closet, and
Oh
I
my
feel
God.
like we could totally share a closet.
You guys could, for
yeah,
sure.
I'm gonna spice up her wardrobe a little bit. She's gonna give me some like structured, straight lined, very
Clean.
expensive pants.
I love
Yes.
I love it. I am going to. Oh, this is hard. This is hard because I am scared of Benicio del Toro. But I am curious. I'm very curious. But you know what? I think the fear is going to win out on this one. I am going to fuck Tim Roth.
Okay.
I just feel like it would be good. It'll be a little dangerous, but still safe. Like I'll still know I'm safe.
Yep.
I'm excited about the danger. I just want to run into Benicio one time.
Like,
He like fuck. Oh no, that's Colin Farrell. I was like, didn't he fuck Britney on an elevator? Britney Spears. Or there was a whole thing.
I gotta be honest. Maybe this is a hot take. I do not think he is good looking.
Colin Farrell?
Not even a little bit.
Not me either.
I think he's disgusting. He grosses me out. I just do not think he's hot.
Strong words.
And I don't think it's to that point for me, but for me, I don't know why. For the longest time, I was just like angry at him.
Yes.
Whenever I saw him on screen,
that's
I'd be
why
like,
I got so visceral.
Why do I have to watch Colin Farrell? I don't like it.
I feel like he's grown out of that. I think I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, but
I think like 90s, early 2000s, Colin Farrell was a different
He
animal.
reminded me of just misogyny.
Yes.
I don't know why. It just
I agree.
felt very
I agree.
like I didn't like the vibes.
But I don't get that vibe from him now.
I think
it's
so.
kind of like
Yeah.
a Jude Law, where I felt that way about Jude Law in the early 2000s too, where I was just like,
But
you
now?
give me slimy fuckboy energy that I don't like. But now I think he's grown into like a stable man.
Also, like, what is the guy that they were trying to make a movie star who is in Avatar? He was in Terminator.
I know who
He
you're
was
talking about.
Whoever
Yeah.
that guy
Sam.
was, I was like, stop trying to make him a thing.
It was like him and Taylor Kitsch. They were trying to make
Yes.
both of these
Oh,
men
yeah.
And I was like,
big stars.
I don't want to see it anymore.
Yeah.
No
Sam.
more.
Yeah.
Like Worthington, Washington.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
The people have
You know
spoken
who
who
else?
say no.
The guy who played Hayden Christensen. They tried real hard to make him.
Yes.
I'm like, no, I'm not.
He's got a hot or not face too. Where
He's
I'm
not.
like,
No, but you know what? Like when he, that moment that he went up because they got so much shit for the prequels or
Yeah.
whatever, and they just had that TikTok or whatever where he went out at Comic-Con and like everyone cheered for him and he teared up. I got really emotional.
It might change
And I was
it.
like, he's older now and he's filled
Okay.
out more and stuff. And I was like,
because he was too baby for me.
yeah.
It's like
I'm
it
like,
was hitting all the wrong buttons for me.
like, okay, you can, we can talk Hayden Christensen now.
Yeah.
But yeah.
the bars on the floor were like a man showed a little bit of emotion and we're like, oh my god,
He's so cute. I changed my mind.
Never mind.
And I can't say that I'm going to friend Benicio del Toro because I just don't know. I don't know if he would be a good friend.
I feel like he probably would be a good friend.
You think
You're
so?
like, fuck, marry, avoid.
Yeah.
Never meet. Fuck, marry, never meet.
Yeah. What if he's like the nicest person? You know all their signs.
I do.
Okay, now you're killing me. And you got to know.
Tim Roth, Taurus.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Hilary Swank is a Leo.
Yeah.
Benicio del Toro is a Pisces.
Well, yes. Of course he is. Fucking course he is. He has male Pisces energy. That's why I'm trying to
knew
avoid
it.
him.
God
you knew
damn
it.
it.
You
Deep
knew it in
my
your heart.
soul. I'm like,
I fucked
which
up.
means he's gonna fuck good though.
Yeah.
Like
he gonna
but-
fuck good.
But he,
I made good choice. I stand by my choice.
That
I don't
is
want to
a
marry. I don't
dangerous
not want to
man.
marry him.
Yeah.
I understand. Yes, that makes the most sense. In the
Yeah.
world. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm marrying Tim Roth,
Yep.
Good for you. Yeah.
even though it's going to be,
A lot of who's in charge.
yes, exactly. A lot of stubborn energy in that household.
Yeah.
But I think
I'm
it'll be
surprised you're
kinda
not going to
fun.
marry Benicio now, knowing what you know.
No, I'm going to fuck him though.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
God damn, it's going to be good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
It's going to be good.
Yeah.
It's going to be full of surprises, things you didn't know you liked. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know I like that. No, I
He's
do.
got tricks.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. He's got tips and tricks.
Yep.
For
I
sure.
feel very like there's gonna be like all of a sudden like oil in
What?
places, like
What?
you know,
Yep.
a little CBD oil to loosen things up.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hey, hey-o.
I feel
yeah. There's
like
going to be ass play. Let's not
Yeah.
beat around the bush here. Literally, beat around. That better be the name of this episode.
This episode is unhinged.
Unhinged.
Maybe
Unhinged.
that's the name.
Oh my
Wow.
god.
So we have a new patron. We would like to welcome M. Nordquist to our patron family.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Bienvenue.
Thank you so much. We always appreciate all of our listeners, but just a little extra sprinkle of appreciation for all of you patrons over on the Patreon. As always, feel free to reach out if you have any Tainted Love movie suggestions.
Some people did throw out some Tainted movies.
Yes, they did. And yeah, we've actually been getting quite a bit of engagement. Like people have actually been get in there, talk to each other whenever we post, the movies or what have you.
I love it. I
love it too.
Well, you guys want to take 5 and then we'll come back with stories?
Sounds good.
And we're back. All right, Christina, you want to kick us off with stories?
Yes, I will. We have a listener story. I did have to edit it a bit, but I will dive in.
She wrote a novel.
He.
Ooh, he. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've
They
got
wrote
it.
a novel. It's a big one. I'm excited.
love
Yeah,
it.
it's a longie.
I love
It had receipts at the end, too. So, yeah. Okay, he says, this particular tale comes down to us from our friends at Hinge.
Oh.
At this point in my life, I've been on the dating apps for almost 3 years. Godspeed, honey.
Oh, sweet. In the trenches.
Yeah, really, truly. For men, or at least for me, the problem is that I rarely do I get messaged by women first. Oh, okay. Yeah. So you're getting a lot of matches as a female. You get inundated pretty much.
Sure.
For men, oftentimes it's the opposite. Like you get one match every now and then. You're among a sea of other people. And then so this is a big deal. It's
when
like
you were dating, Christina, did you message first?
sometimes.
I
Yeah.
think on Hinge,
Yeah.
They have to, right?
I think
No, Bumble.
The Bumble. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah. But sometimes on Tinder I did, depending on just depending how I feel.
Yeah.
But you do.
Did you message Eric first?
Yes, I did.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, so if we're going by Simone Biles' husband standards, then
Yeah.
he's the prize.
He is the prize.
Yeah, you messaged him first.
Yes.
Got it.
I didn't even know who she was.
Yeah.
His sister knew you were.
Yes, exactly.
That's funny. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so a pretty girl matches with him. She messages first. So one morning, he's greeted by a notification on the phone. I can hardly believe it. A hot young single in my area who is actually looking for me. This man who lives alone with his 2 cats could not be more excited.
I love it.
Excitement aside, I know I have to keep my composure and wait what I think is a minimum cool amount of time before confirming the match. I last about 8 minutes.
Okay, yeah,
That's cool.
That makes sense to me because I was about to be like, man, do I hate those rules? It's like, oh, you have to call the next day or whatever. However, I do understand because sometimes even with like whenever I'm talking to you guys and you'll like send me something, sometimes I'm like, Keegan, you cannot reply the second after that message comes in.
Why?
It's just like because it's like it reveals how much I'm on my phone. Where I'm just like staring at my
literally do
phone.
not
I
even think
I
about
don't
it at
think
all.
about it at all.
Not
yeah.
even a
Not even a little. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Let's talk about intrusive thoughts.
Yeah,
Keegan.
you're gonna make, I really do. I like overthink it where I'm just like, God, you're gonna make people think you have no life and you're just sitting here looking at your phone all day.
I mean, most of the day, that is what I'm doing. And I'm like, I'm fine with that.
I have never thought it.
That's fine.
Not once.
So we chat on the app and things seem to be going well. So after a few days of chatting, I ask her if she'd like to meet up sometime. She politely declines this initial offer and tells me that she doesn't really like to meet up with anybody unless she's sure beforehand that they have a connection.
Okay, that makes sense.
Reasonable.
To me.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I personally like to meet people sooner rather than later, as I find too much time texting can lead to building up images and expectations of what this other
That's
person
also
must be
fair.
like, only to be disappointed when these self-set expectations aren't met in reality. However, I do understand where she's coming from. She's right. It takes work to schedule a date, find a place, get ready, go out in public, etc. And I can't falter if past experiences haven't been worth the effort.
Yeah,
What a king.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
I see both their sides of it.
Correct.
I think that they're both
Absolutely.
like super. That makes a lot of sense.
You just meet in the middle.
Yeah.
You know what I
There's a
mean?
place in the middle,
There's
exactly.
a place in the
Yeah.
middle. But good on him for, recognizing her point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Although our in-person meeting has been deferred, she does offer me the consolation prize of phone number, and we move things from the app to the realm of texting.
Yeah, there's the compromise.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah. We text for another day. It goes at a good cadence, not too many, not too few messages.
Good.
I'm ashamed to admit I'm usually the one who will cave and text first on any given day.
Don't be ashamed of that. Like, that's
I
what I
love
mean,
it.
where I'm just like, we have to, wow, I'm about to be like, we have to stop overthinking.
Wow.
But we
Keegan,
do,
yeah.
myself included.
Yeah, yeah.
Myself included. Like, we have to stop overthinking. It's just like, if you want to talk to somebody, like,
Just
I
do
mean,
it.
don't be fucking weird, but yeah, message them first. Who
I
cares?
think by overthinking, sometimes you're trying to fit yourself into the mold of what you think
Yes, they
someone
want.
else would like or want. And that's not a recipe for a
works.
lasting relationship. You should
Never
be
works.
yourself. They're going to like you or not. And then,
Move on.
fuck them.
Yeah.
Move on. Yeah. But in my defense, I try to avoid generic messages like "Happy Monday." I hate that.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay, great. So I don't consider this too big of a personal flaw. In this case,
Is it, honey?
I did have a busy work day ahead of me, so I decided to leave the ball in Sarah's court and see if she starts the conversation first. This she does, but not in the way that I expect.
Oh no.
At 9:36 in the evening, my phone beeps and I see it's
You
a
up?
text. Oh, awesome.
At 9:36. You're like, no, I'm in bed.
Yeah, exactly. I'm watching Bake Off.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. It's a
Snow-
valid question.
And I'm
Keegan.
watching
No, I
Bake
mean,
Off.
truly, look, I can say it all snarky like that, as if my mom bought me, sent me over Christmas a flannel onesie pajama.
Oh, get out of here.
It's flannel, like that black and red flannel, one piece.
Yep.
Long sleeves,
Oh my
long.
God.
Yep.
Yes, I'm in it at
Yes.
9:36.
Yeah,
Yes,
100%.
I'm wearing that. I'm eating Triscuits and cheese.
Yep.
Ugh.
Yes.
That is what I'm doing in my
Yes.
onesies at 9:36.
You up? Valid
Yes.
question.
True. Yes.
Yes. Oh, joy. I think to myself, she must like me if she texted me first. Sort of. When I open the message, I'm greeted with, dang, only one afternoon of texting and you're calling it quits?
Ma'am.
I don't like that.
Yeah. I know what you're thinking. Massive red flag.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's probably a joke, right? It's certainly not a joke I would make when talking to somebody new. I'd sooner crawl out of my own skin than project that sort of insecurity.
man.
I mean, yes,
even if I were kidding.
It's a joke. I mean, I think she's trying to joke, but it's not a good joke.
Yeah. But it's early on in the conversation. Probably I'm just not familiar with her sense of humor yet. It's also through text.
Yes.
There's no context.
No
There's no
context.
tone of voice.
Yeah.
Nothing. So, yeah, it's hard. So I apologize for my lack of communication, and we text the rest of that night, and all seems normal. I text her again the next morning, early enough to avoid another scolding.
Okay.
Oh, jeez.
She was attractive and liked me first, okay?
Listen.
All right. Yep.
The conversation proceeds. She tells me about a time at work her boss commented on her dressing too provocatively.
I wish you wouldn't.
Which leads me to making a joke about how I deserve a punch in the face if I commented on and gave her advice about her appearance in public.
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess the way I said it was confusing because she tells me she's not certain of who is punching who in this scenario.
Okay.
I clarify she would be punching me. She tells me I'm not going to be punching anybody as I'm not a violent person.
Well,
it was
okay.
a joke.
Yeah, no. Okay.
I mean, and also
Yeah.
it's like basically you're saying I would never do that. You're not like
Yeah.
saying literally you're going to need to punch me. You're
Yeah.
saying like
Very seriously. This
Right.
is not a serious scenario.
This is going to go south quick. I'm going to tell you through text messaging,
Nope.
this is not going to go well.
yeah, you got to get
Never
on
mind.
the phone. You
Never
got to
mind.
get on the phone. Yeah.
Or just like, yeah.
Never
yeah.
mind.
Or just
never
call
mind.
it.
Yeah.
She then asks if I'm a violent person.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
I tell her I am not. I know jokes only get funnier the more you explain.
Oh my
them.
God.
no.
But I'm already regretting making this one because clearly it didn't land. Then she hits me with, yeah, after coming from an abusive household, I'm just not that way. Yee. I don't know what to say to this. I
it
don't
really punched a button for her. Like she was like triggered immediately by that phrasing.
Yeah.
And he clearly didn't mean it at all. And
then
yeah.
now this has gone to a place like
Yeah.
through text with a stranger that is like
You can't talk your way out of it
right
very well,
and
especially
also-
not in text.
Yeah. And also it's just we'll
Okay.
see what he said. Okay. I don't really know what to say to this. I don't mind that she's sharing such personal information like this before we've even made plans to meet, and I don't want her to feel like she can't talk to me about important things. But I'm also not sure if it was meant humorously Also, she knows that I don't know her very well yet. If I ask her more questions about it, will she think I'm just interested in it for the sake of drama?
This is not a conversation to have via text. Like when someone says something like that, like
spiral.
That is not something that you talk about via text. That would be something like we are getting to know each other deep in conversation over a few like when we're really getting into the weeds about our childhood or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that's
and
not
also probably not first date.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, that's not something you venture into at all on text message with someone you don't know well.
Yeah. It's So he replies, "That's good at least. Not really a fan of violence here either." I can discern that this wasn't the response she was hoping for because she reacts to the message and says, "I always find it so funny how awkward some people make it when I talk about stuff I've been through. Like, you don't have any other spicy friends?" Laughing emoji.
I don't get that.
Why are we... This isn't a competition.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah.
She wanted... So that
she wants a reaction.
Wanted to elicit a reaction from him.
Yeah. That's what I get. To be honest, I'm not too keen on what she just said. I don't think suddenly sharing troubling or traumatic information with people and then judging them for their response is a cool thing to do.
Mm-mm.
So how does she know what anybody else has been through themselves?
Right.
So I reply back with, could be a number of reasons. Some people might feel an urge to comfort when they feel about bad stuff, but they're afraid of saying something offensive.
Mm-hmm.
She says, I feel like it's offensive to just kind of brush past it unless there was dark humor made. It seems like a lack of emotional intelligence.
I think that we're done here, ma'am. I don't see
I don't
how
like
this
to be
could
scolded.
be. Yeah, I don't see how this could get
any better.
It can't get better.
Also, she can't speak for everybody and
That's
everybody's
right.
trauma. Like,
and how somebody wants to be approached or
there are a lot of people who I don't think would take it well if you made some kind of like dark joke about their deep childhood trauma.
Right.
Like it just because that's your weird thing.
Strangers.
Yeah. I
basically typing on the internet.
And we're texting. Yeah. Like, no.
Yeah. It's a yikes.
I don't like this. Is very uncomfortable.
I'm crawling out of my skin.
Yeah.
The only time I really brush past stuff like that or don't really say anything is to coworkers because they aren't someone I'm actively trying to get to know or befriend. LOL.
Also, that's weird. Also, that's weird. Like, why are you actively trying to not get to know your coworkers? That's strange.
Yeah.
Like, you have to spend a lot of time with your coworkers. I would like to have a good relationship.
I would
them.
say, actively trying not to. Yeah. Anyway, I mean, I don't want to share all my trauma with all of my coworkers.
No,
but, I can see that, but I'm like,
right, exactly. Like there are, unless you have that work bestie in your life, which I have blessedly had in my life before, who you do share like a lot of personal stuff with. In general, you don't share all of your deep personal shit with someone, but it's weird to me that you would say, why are you like singling out your coworkers?
And it's very categorized, right? Like this is the category of person I say these types of things to. It just feels very set up.
I would not want to be in a relationship with this person because I would always be walking on eggshells.
Oh my God.
About saying the right thing.
I'm on eggshells listening to this.
Yeah, seriously. So I do my best to empathize, saying, it can take a lot of energy explaining yourself to people. You can't do that with everybody or else it will be exhausting. And then I ask, was that something that happened throughout your childhood? Admittedly, I wasn't going to win any journalism prizes for hard-hitting questions with that one, but I was still uncertain of how to proceed.
Yeah.
She replies with, it is really freaking exhausting trying to teach, especially men, how to be a decent human. LOL, I don't even want to do it.
I don't understand what he did wrong here. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Because, like, look, in that general sentiment, sure. But, like, in
but also in general, like, maybe you're not ready to be dating right now.
He's actually, like,
he's being
respectful and nice.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, because he's not... Look, because I think
she's just not ready to date right now.
That first text message was a red flag in that, like, when she's just like, oh, you gave up. Because she expects things to happen in a very specific
measured way.
And he is using the right term when he says he's being scolded when he doesn't do things exactly the way that she wants them done.
Absolutely. So, okay. Here I make a pause. My intrusive thoughts are back again.
Yeah.
I am men. Is she talking about me?
Yeah, I think she is, but it doesn't make sense that she would be.
Right.
So I do what any rational overthinker would do and seek third-party consultation. I send a screenshot of the conversation to one friend and to my goblin of a sister.
I love it. I think his sister listens.
Yes,
so
yes.
That's for
so
you.
funny. To ask them what they think. Neither of them are men, so I figure they can give me a different perspective. They both come back admitting that the tone of the conversation is unclear, but that it would be very uncalled for if this was a personal attack. So she probably didn't mean it like
It
that.
feels like an attack to me.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. It feels like an attack to me for sure. So after that evening, I reply back, hopefully that isn't something you have to do often. I know I've been through stories about myself enough times that it's tough to find the energy to tell them again and again. Satisfied I've made the decent choice, I head to bed.
Oh, no. Oh, no. She ain't done with you.
Bring, bring. The phone's just like going off.
The next morning I awaken to, well, that went right over your head.
Wow, what a
Right with like 10 T's.
keep it to myself.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Oh, hell no.
Look, I'm blocking this person at
Yeah,
this point.
I'm done.
We're done. We're done.
Yeah.
We're done.
It's clear we're not going to connect.
I don't care how hot you are.
Yeah. I just keep
Can't be that
calm
hot.
and say, I did think for a minute that it was about me, but then I thought, I don't think I've done anything indecent at this point, so it probably was just a general statement about life experiences. But I guess it was, and I've been exhausting and indecent. She replies back with, I don't know if this is going to work, LOL.
No, it isn't.
No.
Dude, with the LOLs, you're not laughing out loud.
No, not
I
even a
promise
little
you,
bit.
you're not.
Not
No.
even a little bit.
I feel like you're not someone
Lots
who
of
can
love.
really have deep convos or would create a safe environment for
Okay,
that.
bye.
Okay.
Fine.
Block.
Okay,
We're
you're
done.
right.
We're done.
I hope you find what you're looking for.
This is exhausting.
Yeah,
I
I'm
would not.
exhausted, and I didn't live this.
Yeah, no.
My patience for this type of thing is so fucking low.
I know.
Especially these days.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
seriously.
Too short.
Oh my God. So I retort, I mean, I'm capable of that, but we're texting and it's hard to tell the tone of a conversation.
Yes.
If you mention something traumatic, I don't know in what way you're conveying it, if it's humorous or something serious you'd like to talk about more. And then you take a dig at me after I explain why people might not react to that information the way that you prefer they would. I don't think this is going to work either. I don't think we communicate the same way.
No, I
Perfect.
agree.
The
That's
end.
a great response.
Yeah.
It is a great response, but I will say I actually agree with you guys in that, like, when it gets to this point where it's too far gone and someone's like, I feel like when you are meeting somebody through text, I mean, online dating has its pros and cons, but I feel like you can give someone the benefit of the doubt a little bit or be like,
Yeah.
this might be a miscommunication. Do you want to hop on a call real quick?
Yeah.
Or, you know what? It might be a miscommunication and it just doesn't feel right. And then you just move the
Right,
fuck
move
on.
on.
Yeah.
Move on.
Oof.
But, you know, I do think it's a good response. I mean, he's trying to be like, listen, like salvage some kind of thing. Like
Yeah,
maybe there's-
respectfully, we're just not
we're just not
connecting.
going to.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's a good place to end it.
Oh, no.
Look, I really do feel like you, having read enough of these stories, I'm like, once you send something like that, I really do think it's like, good luck to you. Have a wonderful
Goodbye.
life. We're
Yeah.
just like,
And block.
Block.
Yeah, exactly. Because
Because
some people have to have the last word.
And they're going to get weird.
yeah.
Yeah.
and
it's gonna
like,
get
I just,
kooky.
I'm tired already. I don't
Yeah.
need whatever kind of weird fucking follow-up is about to happen right now.
No, thank you. No, she's got her own response. Saying something is offensive is not a dig. Expressing feelings is not a dig. If you don't recognize that, it's a lack of emotional intelligence.
Okay.
Wow.
Something
She just
I'm
learned
not
that.
willing to teach.
She just
LOL.
learned emotional intelligence on
LOL.
TikTok. And she's just like, also, you ending every single text with
LOL.
LOL doesn't feel very emotionally intelligent
No,
to me.
it doesn't.
It doesn't feel emotionally honest.
No.
I'll tell you that much. Do you
No.
know that one yet? Emotional honesty?
Woo.
God, people like this, they push my buttons.
Yeah.
Like this
Mhm.
kind of thing really gets on my nerves because
Dude.
it's also a lack of accountability. It's
Right.
a lack of being able to say, oh, maybe I'm not communicating clearly like what I mean.
Yeah. There's no internal
No.
dialogue for that
It's
person.
all you. You're fucking up over and over. You're not getting me what I want over and over. That is drives me fucking nuts.
And then getting into an argument with somebody like that when they're just like throwing therapy speak at you, it's
Jesus. It drives me crazy.
I'm like, oh my God.
That shit drives me fucking
it drives
crazy.
me it just makes me so angry.
It's the Jonah Hill of it all.
It is.
Yeah.
I can't let this stand, so I clarify my point. The dig I was referring to was you implying I'm not a decent person and that you have to educate me, which I didn't take personally at first until you told me it went over my head, which confirmed that you were referring to me. It felt very judgmental, like weaponizing emotional intelligence.
There we go.
There it is.
You might not have meant it that way, but if we're already having these communication issues, it's best we don't continue.
That's right.
Yes.
And
then block.
She's going to come back. Here she comes.
She seems like a last worder.
Yes.
Yep.
She responds, I do believe that part of being a decent person is someone who recognizes others' feelings, LOL.
You're not recognizing my feelings.
LOL.
But like, do you see what I mean? Where I'm just like, it only goes one way.
Yep.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
he's also communicating that you've hurt his feelings.
And she's
And
not
you're
having
not
that.
doesn't matter.
recognizing that.
It
at
doesn't
all. So
matter.
if that makes him a bad person in your view, what does that make you?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't apply to her.
Yep.
I don't know if you're picking this up.
God, Cassie.
I'm so sorry.
I'm not weaponizing it. I feel that based on your responses, you lack emotional intelligence. Instead of learning how to support someone, you'd rather just not say anything.
Block,
That's a
block.
lack of emotional
Bye.
intelligence.
Okay.
Boy, that's her favorite
Okay.
fucking phrase.
You know what?
Isn't
Besides
it?
LOL.
You just respond, okay, K, period.
K.
LOL. Block.
LOL, block.
I agree. It won't work because I'm not willing to teach emotional intelligence.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Wow. She's obviously ascended to a plane of emotional intelligence so high we cannot comprehend her
Yes,
power.
us just mere humans.
Mortals.
I cannot allow her to have the last word. Honey, you
have
can.
to.
You can.
And you should. You really should.
He says, I think that's for the best. Sorry it didn't work out. I do hope you find somebody that works out better
I hope
for
you find peace.
Peace.
Peace be with you.
The last part is admittedly a lie. I don't think she's at all ready for a relationship.
No,
and
no.
I'm afraid for the next person that engages in a conversation with her. She does not reply back.
Okay.
But if she did, I probably would have asked her how she would have reacted if I had spoken to her in the same way she spoke to me.
Yeah.
Nah, you don't want to go down that
Don't go
road.
down that road. These people like this are not capable of
internal.
Yeah.
reflection at all.
Thank you.
So he says that's all for now. He's in a war with his sister on stories written in. So he says the only winner is My Worst Date podcast. I agree. Thank you.
Thank you.
And yeah, just cut it off early. Like this person, if she had said LOL one more time, it's
Oh my God.
LOL block.
Obviously.
Exactly.
Oh
LOL.
Lord.
Oh my God.
A saint to deal with that. Okay. So I was a freshman at uni. We had the same classes and became friends pretty quickly. In about a month or so, we realized that we liked each other and started dating. It went downhill from there.
Oh no.
Oh no. The reason why I wanted to read this story is because it's a very college story, and it's also very I guess we're getting
Relatable?
a lot of red flags here.
Oh, got
red
it.
flags in Christina's story, things to look out for, right? In this story. So in India, PDA of any sort is frowned upon, even between married couples. So when he refused to hold my hand in public or acknowledge me as his girlfriend, I didn't really think anything was amiss. But in private, he was the exact opposite. He told me that he was in love with me within 2 or 3 days after we began dating.
La bum.
He then started asking me to marry him, despite knowing that I didn't believe in the entire institution. When I repeatedly rejected his proposals, he would sulk. Keep in mind, we were together only a week when he started asking me to marry him.
Sir. And sulking.
I want to peel my skin off.
I fucking hate
Especially
them.
college age, I would be given the biggest amount of ick.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oof.
Yeah.
All of the above I could tolerate to an extent, but girl, you didn't have to. You shouldn't have to.
Mm-mm.
However, he then started trying to distance me from both my friends
That's
and
where
his.
it begins.
I'm an introvert, so my circle is pretty small and I'm very close to all of them. He tried manipulating me into thinking that my friends were against me and spread rumors about me.
Yeah, that's the beginning of abuse right there.
Yep.
He
Red as
also
the flags.
He also didn't let me talk to his friends and tried isolating me from everyone. His next move was to continuously insult my looks and masked the insults in like faux concern. We've seen this before.
Yeah,
too.
it's just honestly like an abuser's
Textbook.
playbook.
Exactly. It's kind of why I wanted to read it, because I'm just like, this is like everything they tell you to look out for, which is just like
and this is not to shame or blame
No,
the
no,
person
not at
whose
all.
story this is, but this is a great, like you said, lesson that we can all, like, if you haven't heard these tells before, this is exactly what to look out for.
Right, because it's easy whenever you're reading it out like this, written down in black and white in hindsight, to be like, yes. But when it's happening, it's far
hard.
less clear.
Absolutely.
You know, like that,
somebody
that's
loves you
what's going on.
so much that they're, oh my gosh,
they
just
marry you.
really want to, they love me. Oh man, that is, and you're right. My parents, oh, okay, well, maybe my friends are kind of awful. And you start to get,
they're spreading rumors about me? What are they saying? What they say to you?
Frog in the boiling water.
Yeah. Of course, it wouldn't be me, because if somebody was like, oh, your friends are saying this, are they?
You text us right away.
Bring, bring.
You also wouldn't believe it, and neither would I. Like,
but that's also after years of self-esteem. I'm also 5 years old.
Yeah,
there's a big difference.
20-year-old me.
I told you about how I freaked out on my ex and his mom because they were talking about me. I'm like, that 19, 20, 22, 25, up to that age-year-old me was for sure still in my feels, still in that place, that post-high school hangover of like, you don't
have a lot of experience.
That's right.
It's
dating. Easy to fall into
You don't know what it's supposed to be like, I think, in a lot of cases.
And I definitely wasn't as confrontational as far as like, okay, maybe I was. I did confront I know you're talking about me.
Yeah.
I to this day still don't think they actually were, and I'm so embarrassed by that.
Well, you didn't hit her with your car like last episode, remember?
Oh, no, that's true.
Girl.
Fucking believable.
Her exes.
I felt unhinged, but that was unhinged.
Yes.
Yeah. My conversations with him morphed into never-ending taunts about how I was unhealthy, how I ought to go to the gym and not eat out. He told me that quite a few people disliked me and tried his best to make me quit debate club. So he's trying to get her out of, nobody likes you, you know, all these, your interests, your hobbies,
then how
stop
do you
doing
like
those.
me?
Yeah.
I have questions. Why do you like me? You must have really shitty taste in people.
Yep. He tried to fat shame me. I'm a size 12 for reference, and criticized every part of my body.
Wow. That makes me very, very sad.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, because that stuff stays with you, even if you know rationally that like this person is being like unreasonable.
It is so fucking hard to be a woman, not to like launch into the Barbie monologue or anything like that. But
exactly what I thought.
But it's like it really is. No matter what size you are, no matter what you look like, you're not gonna win. You're not gonna win.
Well, you can be Margot Robbie and still be called mid.
Yeah, exactly.
There you fucking go.
There you go.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
If society is doing a good enough job of shaming us all the time, you definitely don't fucking need it in your house.
I mean, I've said it before. There's not a woman that I know who isn't acutely aware of
every
what
flaw.
she looks like and her size. Like, we know.
Yeah.
We know.
Yeah.
You think I don't see myself every fucking day?
Yeah. You don't need to say anything, okay? All the while, he continued to tell me that he loved me and asked me to be his wife. Both of us are 18.
Yuck.
Honey.
Yuck.
In private.
And once again, why would you want to marry me? Why do you love me so much if I'm so fucking awful?
Repulsive.
Everyone
dislikes
me. Clearly awful.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why would you want to marry me?
Right.
That to me is something that probably at that age I probably would like, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Am I really that bad?
Yeah.
Okay.
In private, he was overbearing and smothered me by professing his love for me every 5 seconds. In public, he was aloof and distant. In fact, not a lot of people knew we were friends, let alone in a relationship.
Oh, no.
Yikes. Yeah, that's red flags.
You want to marry me, but you won't like walk next side by side with me in public?
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
Are we going to be able to stand at the end of the altar together?
Right.
Like,
people might be there at the wedding.
Yeah. Is that going to be okay?
Yeah. The last straw was when, and trigger warning, big trigger warning here. I'm grateful that this was her last straw. The last straw was when he tried forcing himself on me. He wouldn't stop when I asked him to and would try to take things further, tried using force to make me to force me into being submissive. I decided that I'd had enough of his shit and dumped him. I thank God that I didn't lose my virginity to him.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful. That could have gone
Yes.
a million different ways.
Yes.
And I'm thankful that it ended.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not thankful that he did that, obviously.
Right.
I'm thankful that she was able to like
It was
have
like
that
the wake-up
awareness.
call.
But
Yeah.
it
like,
is
no,
it is such a good story for
Yes.
really clearly being able to see like the way that it starts and the way that it escalates into physical abuse. And I'm glad that right at the start of that physical abuse, she was able to get herself out.
Yeah.
Before it went any further than that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And we all know too how dangerous it can be even once it gets to that point, once the physical starts. And, you know, it's easy for us to say, oh, thankfully she got out at that first sign. But sometimes that first sign, but that's the thing too. I was actually just following that rabbit hole on TikTok. There was the girl, the influencer whose boyfriend, like this big, they're both like really big, Insta famous kind of people. And she, you know, they always have like showing these videos of them like hugging and kissing and he's doing this and they're drinking together and they're having fun. And somebody had put together a compilation of like this guy who posted these videos and it was like him hugging her and kissing her and like dipping her and having these great moments is also the same person who did this. And it showed her covered in fucking bruises and her covering her face with makeup. The influencer is not coming to my name right away, but it's true because what we do is that, and somebody was saying that doesn't start just like, oh, you fall into a relationship with somebody. That's months and months and weeks and years of practiced, you know, getting into somebody's life,
Right.
building trust so that once they do hit you, that's so like, well,
Right.
it isn't in his character. He's never done that before.
And he probably will never do it again.
And
It was
he's
just a
so
one-off.
sorry.
Yeah.
He's so sorry. He would never do that again, but you just got him so upset that one time.
Yeah.
You know,
maybe it was a
which-
bad day. It was an off day.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that won't happen again.
Can't happen again.
Yeah.
It's just not even in his
Yeah.
character.
And at the same time, they're eroding your self-esteem
That's
to
right.
the point where it eventually gets to the point where it's like, oh, this is my fault.
That's
like,
exactly right.
If I had done this differently, he wouldn't have had to, like, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And
it does go both ways. I don't mean to gender
Listen,
it.
truly.
Listen, it does go both
absolutely.
ways. So,
Yeah.
It goes all ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
I'm always suspicious of that love bombing that happened.
Yes.
Like, and whenever anybody's 2
days?
2 days.
No.
Yeah. I'm like,
Honey, you don't know that I sleep hum and that because I save in all my farts during the day, I am like
a monster.
fucking Beethoven's fifth in my bedroom. Honestly, it is.
Kind of same.
It is intense.
Yeah, you don't know that you want to marry me.
Yeah,
you
you
don't
know.
know that shit.
You
No,
know.
especially at 18.
And we're 18
honey,
years
I don't
old.
even know who I is.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
All right. Okay. So my story came to us from a listener, and this one is also a bit of a novel that I did kind of do a little bit of editing, and the person did say feel free because there was some things in there that started to get into a bit of a penthouse forum situation.
Ooh,
Oh, hey.
Okay. I mean, it's still in the inbox.
I'll be reading that in private.
We don't hear from
Sad
Keegan for
masturbation.
Oh no! Just quiet, sad.
Eric's just jostling.
Look, I don't want our listeners to think that we masturbate to their stories. We
No.
don't. We
No,
never
no,
have.
no.
Like,
We
let me
never have.
clarify.
Let me clarify. I can 100% say that has not happened.
Never,
So-
100%.
We
Never
do have
happened.
boundaries.
Yeah,
Okay.
100 fucking-
We respect you, the
Oh
listener.
God! Oh my God! Yeah, don't try to outdo each other.
Oh my
in
God!
that kind
Please,
of-
God,
Oh.
I don't
I
actually
would-
want to open this door.
It's
Of
like-
don't send us
No.
your
Penthouse forums.
sex
No.
stories.
Please.
I mean,
but
Only if they're funny.
only if they're
Yeah.
funny.
Mm-hmm.
Not just. I'm not trying. I'll
I got
pay
spicy
for-
books.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
Hey, if you wrote a spicy book that you want to sell us, I'm into it. I will buy
Absolutely.
it.
Yes,
and I'll
let's
buy
do
it. Yeah, and I'll quickly forget that you're a listener.
Yeah.
All right. It says, okay, so I had a 15-year on and off fucking ship
Oh, okay.
with George. He's a conservative, Catholic, Republican Aquarius, and I am a liberal, pagan, Democratic Gemini.
Wow.
Amazing.
Discuss amongst yourselves.
Yeah.
not gonna-
Oh my God.
A match made by the devil himself, but the
Gemini
sex was
and
as hot.
Aquarius.
Yeah, I know. Girl.
That's on a whole other level.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It truly is.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess if it's just a fucking ship. Like, you don't have to talk that much to notice the big differences.
In fact, don't, because that'll ruin everything.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah.
It was a match made by the devil himself, but the sex was as hot as the flames of hell.
Yeah.
And he loved going down on me.
Well.
So I put up with him.
Okay.
Let me tell you, have you ever seen a plecostomus, the suckerfish? It was like that.
Oh my God.
Entry of Penthouse Forum.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she does say, yeah, you might want to condense this so it doesn't turn into a whole different podcast.
Yeah.
Truly. And I did. Moving on. We'd got together a few times a month and for conversation and mad sex. I was attracted to him for a while, but then I kind of grew tired of hearing about his high school football career.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
He's in his mid-40s when we met.
People in their 30s or above that keep referencing football? Like high school. Like, no. I don't know.
Honey, you peaked.
I don't know about that. What
Maybe try something new. No, what do I think? I 1,000% agree with you.
Yeah.
If you peaked in high school, I'm sorry for you. There's so
you
much
haven't
more
done anything else since
to
then?
talk about. Yeah.
You've had a whole another half of life. There's nothing else.
Nothing else exciting happened in the last 20 some years.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's strange to me too.
I don't like it.
But I'm just like, it's kind of cool. Like sometimes I'll still be like, oh my gosh, this one time I was a camp counselor when I was 18 and I'll tell like a story or whatever.
Sure.
But I've also
I'm not
done
like glory days.
It's
billion different things.
It's part of your life. So I'm like, yes, bringing it up every now and again, knowing that about you. Like if you were, if you went to state and you were like
that's cool.
A football player, that's cool. I'd love
Especially
to hear
if I just met you and you're
Right.
telling me that story. But if we're still talking about it,
I don't need to hear about it every
few
time
years
I see
later.
you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Okay. Great.
His past sexual conquests and questions about whether would I have fucked him when I was in my late teens, early 20s, back when he had hair. Him trying to convince me to have a threesome with him. And then he'd start talking
I'm gonna
politics.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Hold on.
And wanted to try to bully me by raising his voice and getting inches from my face. This was 2015, so there was a lot of discussions about the Bush family.
Oh my God.
Could you imagine? She said, I'm finally told him there were only 2 Bushes in my bed, mine and his, and to shut the fuck up about W.
There you
Dude. Thank fuck. She got out before 2016.
The T word.
Before, because she's like
God.
2000 to 2015.
Oh,
Thank
yeah?
God, she got out just in the nick of time. It was about to get much
ugly.
worse.
As Shakespeare said, though, I was dickmatized.
Yeah.
Yep.
Eventually, I realized I'd rather be abstinent, though, than spend one more moment with him.
Yeah.
So I told him goodbye. I mean, it broke my heart to give up such a great dick, but this girl knew
There are more
grew
out there.
some balls and had enough of that shit.
There's so many.
Yep.
Like, look, don't worry.
George always wore socks. So this is the kind of the crux.
Oh.
And this is why we got this story.
God.
Okay. George always wore socks when he was in bed.
Okay.
Only socks. We'd hand out.
Why is that so much?
It's worse.
What's worse?
Where you're just like fucking commando, except for socks.
We'd hang out. We'd hang out and chat for hours, and feet get cold, so I didn't mind too much. I was EMT at the time, so he always talked to me about his medical issues.
Okay, so first of all, okay, I'm gonna have to put a pin in that. You're hanging out. It's kind of chilly.
Just socks?
I don't have a penis, but if your feet are cold, wouldn't your dick be cold too?
I'd imagine a lot would be cold.
Well, that's what I'm thinking because I understand as someone who is always cold.
Right.
As someone who is always cold, I can understand having socks on. But if I'm cold, I'm getting up and I'm putting on my flannel
robe.
onesie.
Yeah,
or
Okay,
something.
Your
I'm
flannel
putting
onesie.
on. I'm putting
You're like,
on
you're
other
going to have to get
clothes.
other flannel onesies. I feel like this one's going to get worn out pretty soon.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
He was a private investigator. One night we were, okay, I'm sorry, you're a private investigator and you're still talking about fucking football?
Right?
Yeah, that's way
I
cool.
need-
I want to
I
hear
gotta
more
have-
about the private eye
Yeah.
stories.
Gotta have more interesting stories.
One night we were talking on the phone and he mentioned that he'd fallen off his porch a few days before and that he thought he'd broken his foot. I had broken a foot a few years back, and I said, come on over. I'll take a look at it. He came over and we were chatting in bed for hours, engaged some adult fun, chatted some more. He again mentioned his sore foot. So I asked him to take off his sock so I could see it. Now,
how fucked up are his feet?
Now I see this part in slow motion with suspenseful and dramatic piano notes. He slowly peels off his white athletic ankle sock.
Oh, God.
And then I saw it. Big, fat, deformed foot. His toes are short, long, thick nails. His foot looks sore and swollen, so swollen that his arch has completely disappeared into his fleshy fat pads.
That's awful.
And must have hurt him tremendously. Shocked at the look of it, I screamed, "Oh my God, George, you poor thing, that looks awful. It looks so bad. You need to get to the ER immediately. That is definitely broken." His face changed very fast. He looked at me and grumbled and said, "That's my good foot."
It's the other foot.
Okay. All right. Listen.
Well, you can't. I don't want to body shame anybody.
I know.
Because you can't help the shape of your feet.
Sure.
Yeah.
But the toenails, like you can cut your toenails.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. And I'm
sorry, you just told somebody I'm going to show you my
why would you show the
foot.
good foot?
Yeah.
Also, you have to have some awareness
Yeah.
of what's going on down there, or you wouldn't be wearing socks
Apparently.
during fuck times.
Ankle socks, nonetheless.
Ankle-
Did we all pick up on that?
No, ankle socks is the fucking even the worst.
So you're free balling, except for fucking ankle socks?
Of
Anky
course.
socks.
Of course it is.
Baby anky socky. I hate it more than I hate anything else in the world right now.
Ankle socks.
Ankle. Oh. I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
Shocked at the look of it. I screamed. Oh, wait. No, I already said that part. That's my good foot. I asked him if he was sure about that. He looked exasperated with me and put his sock back on. I told him that I looked like something was wrong with that foot, and he told me it was fine and that he just had flat feet.
You know that it's not fine, though, or you wouldn't keep your socks on.
And I'm like, what? Again, though, I'm like, why is that the foot you're leading with? Like, go to the...
Yeah, I didn't need to see both your feet.
Right. Like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Since I had such a shocked reaction
That's my good
to seeing his quote good foot, unquote, that he refused to show me the bad one and made excuses about why he had to head home. Since he was an old high school football player, he used to just walk off injuries, so he just did it, let the foot heal on its own. We'd get together for a decade before I called the time of death on our fucking ship. He loved recalling the story about how horrified I was at his goblin feet. We'd share an awful lot of good times, but it was time to move on, and the relationship where I felt equal, loved, respected, along with passionate, incredible lovemaking. We can have it all.
Good.
Thank you, ladies.
Hell yeah.
I given how like grossed out Cassie was by the idea of having sex with socks on, because I listened to last week's episode. I don't always listen. I listened to last week's episode.
It's
Cassie
awful.
was appalled.
I am appalled
that
I'm
this is
still
something
appalled.
that happens. So given that,
It wouldn't have been.
could you unsee? Like now he's coming over and you know what's under the sock. Like, could you unsee that in your mind's eye?
It needed to happen right away. Because then you're like, okay, that's just, you know what I mean? Like, then you're like,
But see,
it's
the
fine.
level, I do remember.
I don't think about feet too much.
No. Yeah, yeah, exactly. They're not in the area that I'm focusing on for sexy time. However,
But if they have socks on them, I'm thinking about it.
dude, I had sex one time with somebody that had one big toenail that was like,
No.
it was
No.
not only the length of it was problematic.
How do you wear
It was
clothes?
also like thick. Oh, thick. It was like a fucking Frito of a toenail, like a corn chip toe.
Here's what I'm saying. I'm not. This isn't about body shaming. What this is about is taking care of your
Hygiene.
fucking self.
Correct.
Yeah,
Because that is something that is like you have a fungus of some kind that
Right.
can be taken care of
Right.
medically. You can medically have that looked at. That's just a lack of.
Well, and that's what it tells you. It's just like, for me, it tells me like, oh, if I'm going to get in a relationship with somebody, am I going to have to hassle them into taking care of their own body, their own basic thing. You know what I mean? I'm like,
or am I gonna get,
Frito toe
for the rest of my fucking life? Go to the doctor, sir.
Yeah, seriously.
It's not supposed to be that thick.
No, it was like,
what causes the nail to be that thick?
I don't know.
It's different kinds of things. It's usually like there's like disorders that can cause it. There's certain like just funguses and things like that can cause it. Most of which can be handled by a physician.
And again, I'm not trying to shame anybody.
That's exactly.
That's
our point.
It's not at all shame. It's just like,
I am shaming you for not taking care of this.
Exactly. It's like basic hygiene stuff.
That's exactly
right. Like
right.
some people are more prone to certain things than other people. Like I've blessedly, just due to genetics, have never had a cavity. It's just
okay. Wow. Here we go. This bitch.
It made me think of like it's like a talon. Maybe made me think that you could probably put a slit in his shoe and then he could use it as a shoe knife.
I swear to God. I swear to God.
Christina, you fucked you had sex with this person.
Did they cut you in bed?
No.
With it? Because that would be my concern.
Imagine. Mid sex.
You're like, what the fuck was that? Switchblade? What the fuck? Is that a knife? You just cut me?
And then you got to clean it out with like alcohol. I don't want to get cut open by someone's nasty toe.
No.
Oh God.
But I just, oh man. No, but no, we're not having sex with socks on. We're not.
Not in 2024, okay?
Listen, Christina.
Rule number 1.
Keep it sexy. And that is not keeping it sexy.
That's right.
That's right.
You have a solid rule about keeping it sexy, and that
That's
ain't
right.
it.
Yep.
That ain't it.
Keep it sexy.
Right. I do want to say, because now I feel like I just dropped that I've never had a cavity. That wasn't the point.
No, that you've said everything you need to say.
The point was that like some people have like some people are very prone to cavities.
I know somebody that it's like super, super, super up on their oral hygiene, but they get all the cavities in the world.
Right. And the thing about
my mom works at dental school. I fucking brush my teeth like a monster. I floss every day, and I hate going to the dentist.
But that's exactly right. It is still your responsibility to take care of it. So if you are prone to getting fungal infections in your feet or bunions or whatever else, it's like, I'm sorry that you lost that genetic lottery, but you still have to take care of it.
You got to take care of yourself. Like, and it's also like one of those things. It's like you can take care of it. It's not like cellulite, which just happens and you can't do anything really about it. It's something you can take care of,
right?
We're not. So at any rate, no socks in bed is still my rule, and it better not be any goddamn.
That's rule 2 for you.
Ankle socks.
Well, I feel like that's an addendum. It's like keep it sexy. Sub item A: no socks in bed.
That's right.
I have to say,
definitely no footy socks. Subcolumn.
That somehow is worse.
I might disagree with you guys on this, because I feel like the tall socks, when they start to slouch down, which they're gonna do whenever you're having sex, like they will, and then they're like bunchy. That's worse to me.
That's
then a footy sock.
No, I think I'm still gonna go with a sports sock. A dress sock, I can't.
A dress sock, absolutely fucking not.
No.
Fuck, marry, kill. Dress sock, sports sock, ankle sock.
Oh.
Off the rails is what we are today.
I know, absolutely. We're gonna take 5 and come back with the Tainted Love.
Oh, and we're back.
Yep, and I've got the Tainted Love. I think this is a story that you guys may have been familiar with.
Okay.
I triple checked every single name of every single person involved in the story to see if we'd done it before. And we have it. Okay. So I'm going to tell it. I'm going to take you back to April 25th, 2008.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's about 3 a.m. And
butterfly sugar, baby.
It's in a small town about 45 miles from Savannah, Georgia, in Effingham County. Effingham. Their 911 operator gets a phone call from a garbled woman's voice just pleading for help.
Oh.
So they finally get out of her that she has been shot, her husband has been shot, and her son has been shot. And so, of course, like the 911 operator's like, Andy, go get the crew. Like it really is like a rural area. Yeah. They are not fucking used to like this kind of thing. Yeah. They get over there, smell of gasoline so like potent. They're like, oh my gosh, like what are we walking into? Is this like an ambush? They go in the house and they find the 911 caller. Her name's Linda Heidt. She has been shot in the face.
In the face
with a 12 gauge shotgun.
Oh no.
Wow.
They do find her husband of 42 years in bed. He has been shot dead. And they find her son, who's staying in their guest bedroom, also shot dead.
Wow.
This is huge news because the Heidt family, very prominent. Philip Heidt was like a former like reserves person that came back, was a real estate mogul, very well liked. Like everyone in the community was like, Philip Heidt was a stand-up guy. He was a God-fearing man. Like his family, him and Linda had been married for 42 years. They had 3 sons. They're very super well connected. They their house was like on the rural side of town. They had property. They had animals like cows and stuff.
I do know this story.
Yeah, and so they were super just loved and everything. So people were stunned. Like who would come
do this?
Into the house? And so they're looking around. The smell of gas is everywhere, but they're like, nobody set it alight. And they notice a broken window, but the curtain's not really disturbed. So it's like, well, that doesn't seem to be the point of entry. And it looks like a burglary, but nothing is taken, which is always
Red flag.
Staged burglary. And then they look and they're like, oh, there's still a spare key in the door. So
why would you break a window if there's a spare key in the door?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so weird. There's a key. So obviously someone that was the key that had been kept in like a hidey hole like that.
So somebody knew where the
the
key
spare
was.
hidden key is.
And then left it in the door like a dummy.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, they're like, okay, we need to notify next of kin. So they drive to Philip's son Carrie's house and wake up his wife, Robin. It's like 5 a.m. and they're like, they notify her that her husband is deceased and her father-in-law and that her mother, and they're like, do you know of anybody that would do? And she's like, absolutely not. No, like
everybody loves them.
Everybody loves them. So they round up the rest of the family because there are 3 boys. Carrie was the baby. Carrie was, I don't want to say his father's favorite, but he definitely followed in his father's footsteps. So he is the one that got into the real estate business. He was also super, super well liked. And him and Robin were high school sweethearts. It was pretty much his first and only love, his only girlfriend. They've been married for about 13 years. They had 3 kids of their own. And yeah, he's just like, it's just unfathomable that he was in that situation. But then you have the middle child, Chris. So they round him up. They're like, Chris, like this happened, that kind of thing. He's got a solid alibi. He doesn't own a shotgun. He's devastated. So then they go round up the oldest, Philip Craig Heidt, who goes by Craig. So even though he's his daddy's namesake.
This is itching a part of my brain where I'm just like, I
know
feel
this
like I
story.
know it, but I don't know what happened.
You
I
do
can't
know.
remember at all. Did the mom live?
So the mom is hanging on.
Okay.
Yeah.
She is in the hospital. She's in a coma, and she's just like, oh, she's hanging on. They're hoping that she wakes up because she would
Hopefully they could tell her. Yeah.
Right, identify the shooter. But in the meantime, they're starting the investigation. So then they get to Craig. Craig couldn't be more different from Carrie. He's got like a past marriage that didn't work out. He recently left a girlfriend high and dry on a mortgage, like love bombed her enough to like move her out and like be like, we're going to make house together, because she had gone through cancer and going through chemo and then deuced out on her and was pretty much living off of disability in a hunting cabin. Like sort of near like the property.
He's the oldest?
He's the oldest. And he's the black sheep of the family. So he's questioned by police and he's just like, I have no idea, who could have done this. I'm devastated, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, can we ask you if you've been sleeping with your brother's wife?
That's a big leap.
Because they had brought Robin in earlier for questioning, and she's like, yeah, I've been fucking the brother.
Fucking the cabin brother.
Oh my God. Not to get us further off the rails. I know we need to stay on track. However, did you see that viral TikTok? Because people were sharing like, you know, there's pictures of them with their spouse or their partner or whoever, and then the person that their partner cheated on them with.
Yeah.
Did you see the one that was like, it was her mom?
No.
Like, unfucking
Unbelievable.
believable. Her spouse was cheating on her for 4 months with her mother.
I would fucking
with her mother. And she found out on Thanksgiving.
Nope. I'm out.
And then, not only that, so he moved out. Their marriage ended.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He moved out. The mom moved in with him.
Nope.
They continued their relationship until the mom was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Moved out, went back home to her dad, to this woman's dad. And the dad forgave the mom, took her back, and it's the daughter who's not invited to like, because she was making a thing where she's like, I do the holidays alone because I obviously don't talk to my mom anymore.
It's better. Honestly, you're better off. That is.
Yeah.
Can you, Matt,
not
like,
even a little bit.
an affair with like a sibling, spouse, or parent, like it's just your spouse's sibling or
you're
parent.
already hurting somebody so much by lying,
by betraying
them.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, it's fucking awful.
Yeah.
So yeah, they ask him point blank, "Are you doing?" And he's like, "I could never do this to my brother." He lies pretty much. They catch him in the lie, but they let him go. They ask him about an alibi. He's like, "I was watching hunting shows in the cabin." And they're like,
Okay.
And so they search that cabin. They find shotgun shells, but they don't find a shotgun. So they're like, okay.
There's a shotgun around here somewhere.
Yeah.
What are these shells doing here?
Yeah. So they dig in further because this town is a small town and people have stories.
I bet.
You know, people have rumors. People have innuendo.
Cheating with your spouse's sibling in a small town in the South? Baby.
Honey, you know that Facebook group is like boop, boop,
brave.
Honestly. Honestly. Because that's the thing is that they've been married for 13 years. They were having problems because Robin was saying that Carrie wasn't coming. He was working. This was the 2008 crash.
Yeah.
They're in real estate.
Yeah.
He's trying to provide for his family. By the way, their real estate, like Carrie had a $3.5 million life insurance. Okay.
Wow.
Like Philip Heidt, millions of dollars.
Yeah.
They were very wealthy. Craig, like I said, no job, nothing, blah, 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 blah. So like 2 weeks into the affair.
How are you the oldest child? It doesn't even make sense.
I know, it doesn't.
Literally makes no sense.
Seriously. So 2 weeks into the affair, Robin actually tells Carrie, and I think from what I read from the situation is it felt very much like she wanted to hurt him.
Oh.
Because
awful.
their relationship started, they were so young. She was very outgoing, vivacious, extrovert. He is very introverted, quiet, serious.
Same with me and my husband. I don't want to punish him for it.
He loved her and everything. He's working really hard. She's stuck at home with the 3 kids, that kind of thing. She doesn't feel like she's getting the attention that she wants. And so I don't
you have
feel
to also take responsibility for
job.
where you're at
right
in the relationship. You made a series of choices as well.
That's
absolutely
exactly right.
And if you're not satisfied or happy, communicate those. And it's not to say that communicate that. And it's not to say that maybe she did try to communicate that.
Yeah, they've been going into therapy and everything. But she told him after like one thing led to another at her in-laws' house on the couch.
Oh no. One thing did not lead to another.
So
Ma'am.
she tells Carrie they're in therapy and stuff like that. They're trying to, he's standing by her. He's trying, but when Philip finds out about it, Philip is distraught. He is very angry.
Yeah. How could you do this?
How could you do this to your brother? How could you do this to the family? Because family and this family name and his reputation, very important to Philip, and he's like, this is not okay. He confronts Robin. He's like, I don't understand. You don't understand who Craig is.
And
like,
what
he
you've done.
can't give you what you have right now. You don't know him or whatever. And Robin just kind of like brushes it off. And it's unclear whether or not she knew, whether or not Carrie did change his life insurance payout to a trust for his children, but wrote her out of it.
Well,
and Philip told Craig, he's like, I'm going to write you out of the will. Like, you are done with Robin.
Mm-hmm.
This is not okay. This is your brother's wife. And his words back were, if I want Robin, I can have her.
Okay.
So,
what is wrong with you?
it's your brother's wife. There's so many other people that you can have sex with.
So many.
And for Robin, if she was bored, angry, whatever, like, and maybe this is my Capricorn brain, right? You've got 3 kids, you've got a house, you've got a certain lifestyle, correct? You don't personally have anything. She doesn't have a job. She doesn't bring in that money, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
If you're going to jump ship because you're unhappy with your marriage, it doesn't seem like a stable landing pad. Is that Capricorn of me to think that?
Yeah, but yes.
I think that's just
but
like good thinking.
yeah, but that's the thing.
Like,
People who are making these kinds of decisions,
aren't-
because cheating, risky at the best of times.
Yeah.
Cheating with your brother-in-law at your parents-in-law at their house.
At their house.
Couldn't
They're
be.
sleeping
It just
upstairs.
couldn't
That's
be
not
me.
somebody who's thinking rationally
Rationally.
about like long term at all. Like, you're not thinking about long term. You're thinking about like, this feels exciting in this moment right now.
Mhm.
And that's it.
So right before,
Because it's your kid's uncle.
yes, Uncle Dad.
Oh.
Wait.
No.
So like right before the murders, Robin was supposed to go to like this event or something that got canceled last minute. So instead of going home to her husband who's not paying attention to her, she goes over to Craig's house, shack, and they stay the night.
Right.
I know, I'm so Capricorn. It's terrible.
I wonder if it has a hole in the floor like that one story we
Oh
heard.
my God, yes.
A fishing hole
Fishing
in the
hole.
middle of the living room.
There were a lot of like antler bone things in the pictures I saw of the documentary. But so they wake up the next morning to hear a helicopter circling overhead, just hovering. And so then they're like, oh my God, like somebody's like spying on us. And it turns out, right, Philip's like, hey friend, you got a helicopter, you're going flying today? Go fly past my son's cabin to see if Robin's
there.
car there and
Oh my
take pictures. And I think Philip was trying to help his son out, be like, take pictures, prove the infidelity, that way you get
Just
a
be
good
done with it.
divorce settlement.
That's right.
Yeah.
So Craig is furious about this. He's so fucking angry. And Robin's like irritated too that she goes home to Carrie. They end up having a huge fight because Carrie's
that's
like,
weird.
you were supposed to go to this event last night. You stayed out all night. And I know that you were at my fucking brother's shack. Like,
God.
so for the first time in their 13 years of marriage, he leaves. He does not stay in the house, and he goes
To his
parents' house.
Yeah.
The one time.
And
I'm feeling bad for these kids too. Like, what a tumultuous house to be living in
yeah,
as a child. Like, not only are your parents fighting,
Yeah.
but what they're fighting about, if you had any knowledge.
if you were aware enough at all.
Yeah.
And like kids pick up a lot.
Yeah.
You can see a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing that makes it for me, because there are a lot of people that are like, we'll get into this later, but
Yeah.
Robin calls Craig and tells him that Carrie is at Philip and Linda's house or whatever. So Craig knows that he's there. And then, of course, that night, that terrible tragedy happens. So police are like, okay, this is looking like a lot.
Yeah.
And they bring Craig back in, and they're like, actually, you know what? Will you take your shirt off for us? Because 12-gauge shotgun has a hell of a recoil.
Yep, you're gonna have like a bruise.
And sure enough, as he's taking off his shirt, he's like, by the way, I was getting out of the shower and I tripped and fell head over the toilet. And of course, he has bruises on his shoulder.
Than that.
Dude, they have it on video. He tried to reenact it. Yeah, not a good look. Don't do that.
Of all the things you could lie about.
Also, you live in a hunting cabin.
Just say you were hunting.
That's
exactly what I was going to say.
I remember when I first heard this and I was like,
just say you went hunting.
Like, it's obviously a bruise from a fucking rifle butt.
I imagine he didn't want to say that because then they would ask him for the gun that he was hunting with.
Right.
He didn't want to have to.
And they never found a gun. He actually said, I do have a 12 gauge shotgun, but it's missing.
Okay, so
missing.
Okay. All right,
my dude.
Mm-hmm. It's missing.
Yeah. It's missing. It's just gone.
It's
gone.
Up and left.
Along with this random pair of shoes.
My dignity.
I got a random pair of shoes, a 12 gauge shotgun, and a gas can that are just missing.
I decay.
Yeah. Don't know where they went.
And a gas can. That's weird.
It's so
we
weird.
didn't even ask you about that.
Exactly. Exactly. They're like, okay, bro, like, all right. But there's nothing concrete. There's no physical evidence. They can't find the gun. Mm-hmm. Like, Linda finally wakes up.
Oh, God.
They interview her. She's like, all I remember is the blast. And I think the shooter was of slender build, which he was not. So they're like, okay, so we don't have like an eyewitness. So they're building the case. Meanwhile, 4 months after her husband's murder, Robin moves Craig into the house.
Uncle Daddy.
Uncle Dad is taking the kids to school.
Shut.
In their dead dad's truck, wearing the dead dad's clothes, sleeping in dad's bed.
Oh, fucking dead dad's wife.
That's exactly right.
Oh, that's
a
so
lot.
gross.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
In a small town. You're a kid in a small town school.
How do you live with yourself?
You are a kid in a... listen, as somebody
you
who went
were
to a
raised as a small town
school kid, which I fucking hated anyway. And thank God I didn't have any fucking weird gossip around it.
And you're already from a prominent family.
Yeah,
your
not
family
me.
members were... No, but like these kids, like your family members were murdered. So everyone's talking about them anyway.
Yep.
And now...
Your dad was murdered.
And everybody in town knows that
Uncle Daddy's living there now.
Your uncle and your mom are probably suspects. Everyone knows.
Yes.
Everyone knows who's being questioned for what.
Yep.
And now he's living in the house. No.
I feel so awful for these kids.
I feel so bad for these kids.
Yeah.
And the Robin, the mom, how could you live with yourself?
Yeah.
Like, I do not understand. Because look, people make a series of bad decisions and they get in over their head or whatever. But then there has to be some clarity at some point. Like,
what am I doing to my children?
What am I doing?
Yeah.
Like that.
If you're not going to think about yourself, think about your kids.
It feels to me, and I am of two different mindsets here because it's hard to make a blanket statement because I don't think these types of things apply to everybody. But if you are a suspect in killing your kid's other parent, you should not be able to have custody of them. It puts me in mind of like, what's his name?
Dear Zachary, that documentary.
Oh my God.
Oh no, I don't know that one.
Oh, don't watch it.
No, you can't.
But the guy you did the
story. Yeah, the Cold podcast.
Yep.
That Josh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah. No, exactly. The Powells.
Thank you.
Yeah. So based on the last day of the school year, like June 2009, they finally, GBI is like, you know what? We have enough. We think there's a motive. We think he wanted to basically...
How did GBI get involved?
I think this is a small town. I didn't see exactly.
That's right.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right. I remember that.
So
the small town.
Yeah. So they're like, we've got enough. He wanted to kill his parents to get his inheritance. He wanted to kill Carrie to get that life insurance, and then he can step in and he can become, he can be his brother. He can be his brother. He can be his brother. He would have enough then to provide for Robin.
His mom lived, so he's not getting his inheritance.
Yeah. Correct.
And Robin was written out of the will, so they're not getting that either. So
exactly. They're getting nothing. Yeah, and in fact, they had been talking about marriage. Robin had to buy the rings. They were going to get married, so Robin was somehow providing.
You really did it.
You really did it.
Wow.
Wow.
Robin.
Good for you. So yeah, they basically arrest him, and it's not long after that Robin turns on him and agrees to testify against him.
Huh.
But for
Broke-ass Craig?
For Craig, his whole family stands by him. This is actually not a slam dunk case. Everything is circumstantial. Despite the fact that when you add it all up, it seems like it makes, for me, a lot of sense. There's a hidden key that only family knows about that's in the door.
There's a lot of things, but I do remember them saying that there was a possibility that the mom did it. There was like a lot. There's a lot of theories.
There was a lot of theories, and there's able to be a lot of theories because the police didn't investigate pretty much like once they had gotten the Robin information about like him sleeping with his brother's wife. They were done. It could have been something else.
Could have been a lot of things.
It could have been a lot of things. They never found the shotgun and everything, but a lot of circumstantial evidence.
Him losing that shotgun and having those bruises is very like, side eye.
And the key in the door is very strange, like all of that. So yeah, his family's standing by him, but Robin testifies against him, and he ends up being convicted. He's
real hard
found
for me
guilty.
To stand by. I have 3 brothers, but and that sibling bond is very strong, and I understand it would be difficult to
if you lost your dad and your other brother to not. Yeah.
But I mean, it would be hard to just completely write your sibling off, even if they did something terrible. But I think I would. I don't think I could stand by. Well, if I really believed that he did it.
Everyone was like, "It's not in their character. It's not in his character." And I'm like, "His character was sleeping
with his brother's wife.
Is that in his character? Because he did it. So
he left a woman who had just had cancer, high and dry,
to fend for herself in a house I
think his moral character is a little questionable.
Same. Same. Yeah. And so, he was convicted, found guilty. It's like 2 life sentences plus 85 years. So he has appealed. His appeal was denied. Robin was ordered to share custody of the kids with Linda, who has made a recovery.
Wow. Good for her.
Yeah. Shot in the face with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
How she was able to call 911.
Yeah. Dude, the 911 call actually made me tear up.
Yeah.
Because it was very chilling. It was heartbreaking. And I think I feel for her, I think most in this story.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
and to think too that it's your own son that's doing time.
Right. And I think she definitely believes that it was not her son, or at least says it. However, she was in the hospital and she was just woken up from her coma, and her son Craig came in. Her blood pressure went from 90 to over 140, and her eyes got really wide. She wasn't able to speak yet, but she says now, like, oh, I just overheard people talking or whatever, and that must have stressed me out. But the body
is really fucking.
The body knows what the body knows. Yeah,
like I can see after all that loss, not being able to cope with it.
Yeah.
Just it's easier to believe that it was a stranger.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And so last thing, Robin did move away and has remarried. However, there's
not Craig?
So many people.
Oh, no,
not Craig.
Not, obviously. He's in prison.
And she testified against him.
Yeah. There are a lot of people that still bother the sheriff and GBI then being like, when are you going to arrest Robin? There are a lot of people that believe that she was somehow masterminding or manipulating Craig. And I don't know how much that's so very, you really can't prove that. And it kind of also smacks as like Craig was like respectable and he was misled and tempted.
It feels misogynistic. It does. Like, she's clearly no angel, and it is like she could have been. She did call him and tell him that they were all over there. So I'm not saying that she didn't do it, but I'm saying I always side eye it whenever you're trying to pull blame off of.
Believe me, if there was even a hint of proof, a hint of circumstantial evidence, I think they would have snatched her up.
Right. If she had left a voice note where she's like, BT dubs, tonight's the night.
Yeah. And also, I do think that at the end, like Craig, if it would have possibly helped him out at all, would have said something. So I'm just like, I don't really
I don't think
into all
protect
that.
her.
No.
They don't have enough to
do
anything.
No. So Yeah, that is the tragic story of and you can watch it on Dateline. It's a Dennis Murphy joint. It's the mystery at Effingham County. So there you go.
Yeah, there's also a Dateline because that's where I heard it.
Me too.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
There you go. Don't shit where you eat.
Amen. And
that's your work. That's your family.
And that's rule 2.
Yeah. Keep
Also,
it sexy. Don't shit where you eat. Oh, man. What are you guys watching?
Well, I know that you are also rewatching The Leftovers, and I had already had plans to I was thinking about it.
I forgot how weird season 3 is.
I haven't seen season 3.
Is that
I only
the one our
watched
friend is in the beginning of?
Season 2.
No, that's season 2.
Okay.
I only watched the first 2 seasons, and I haven't watched season 3, so I'm like, I'm going to start it over from the beginning and get through this. It's Lindelof, right? Or who is that?
Damon Lindelof. And I think the only thing I've ever seen him really stick the landing on was Watchmen.
Which is so good.
Which is amazing. It's incredible.
But the first season of Leftovers, I remember enjoying, and I am liking so far. And I was telling you off mic, boy, did I forget how hot Justin Theroux is in that show. That man, very good looking.
Yeah.
Very good looking.
Yep. We definitely agree.
Yeah. I just started school again, so I've just been honestly getting back to school stuff, but I did start watching Percy Jackson Percy Jackson and the Olympians. I watched like the first couple episodes, and it's good.
Okay.
I know that people hated the movies.
Yeah,
I didn't read the books, but I've heard that people hated the movies, but it seems like they're doing a pretty good job. It's just like, it's hard, right? Like,
yes,
to make a movie out of something that has so much going on, and you can see that
beloved. Like the books were really like beloved, and it's difficult to adapt that because everyone, when you read a book, everybody is picturing something different. Yeah, and everyone wants it to be true to their own interpretation. You know, it's difficult.
Yeah.
I watched, so I've been watching The Bake Off, but I did watch something I want to share with you guys. It was done by Nancy Pelosi's daughter. It's on HBO. It's called
Insurrectionist Next Door.
Yep.
I have it saved to my
Oh, it is so worth it. I think ultimately her goal to get to know people that stormed the Capitol, I do think that it's very interesting. It's very interesting. I really, really enjoyed it. I do think that I wish it was a series. I wish it had more, because everyone has different reasons for being there and different,
Yeah, tell me about it. I don't know what this is.
So Nancy Pelosi's daughter did a movie called The Insurrectionist Next Door, a documentary where she basically goes and meets these people right after they've been arrested for participating in Jan 6.
Yeah, it goes to their house and stuff.
Interviews them and everything like that, and just trying to reason why, and asking them like, do you still support Trump? Like, what do you think about all of this?
Did you really want to kill my mom?
Yeah.
Like,
wow.
Stuff like that. So it's really interesting, because especially when you think about how polarizing and how terrible communication is these days, because a lot of it is happening online, to actually sit and have a face-to-face
look somebody in the
eye. You wanted to kill my mother, like, really? I think that's very powerful.
I do too.
I think it's a reminder, I think, to these people that, like, Nancy Pelosi is a mother, is a grandmother. Like, all of these people are people,
and you can criticize them for
Absolutely.
other reasons, right? But it's like,
you don't have to agree with them.
Right.
You can also we have the right to, protest and do these things. That's what we have these freedoms for. But you don't have the right to try to kill someone, to try to, the things that
going
they
through
did,
and trashing off it, and like,
just insane.
She asked one person, like, what would you have done if you would have found my mother that day? What do you think would have happened? Because you were in that mob, and that, it's really powerful. It's so good. So I definitely recommend watching it.
Yeah, I have it saved on my list. I just wasn't sure. I didn't know
headspace wise.
Right. Yeah. If I was going to be in the right place.
It's not, I would say it's not as heavy as a thing.
All right. Good.
Because I had put it off.
Yeah.
Thinking, I'm like, oh, I'm not ready for that. But I thought it was very engaging. I thought it was a good idea.
Okay,
I think
good.
I hope it opens the doors for other filmmakers to see an opportunity to do something more in depth like that. Because it made me want to know more. Made me very interested.
Yeah.
So
I think that you're touching on something that this episode's going so long, but you're touching on something that I think that a lot of people would resonate with, and that is really what was going on in your mind.
Yeah.
Now that you can articulate and you can sit back, you're not having this kind of in a tantrumy moment.
Yeah. What's happening?
Where are you at?
And
What's
where are
your
you
head
at now after dealing with like all of that and the consequences? Like, where are you at now? It's
Oh, wow.
Well, if you guys have something that we should watch, if you have a bad date story, if you just want to say hello, go to our one-stop shop of a website. It's myworstdatepodcast.com. And we love you so much. Cheers.